You know, sometimes the biggest cultural phenomena don't start with a big announcement or a famous celebrity. Sometimes they start with something much quieter, something like the handwritten notes of a loving mother. Today, we're diving into the incredible world of Korean side dishes or banchan and the amazing story of how one woman's recipes brought this tradition to the world. Our story really starts with this simple, beautiful quote from a woman named Chang Sun-young. It's not from some Michelin star chef. It's from a mother. And that one little word she mentions, consistently, well, that turned out to be the secret ingredient that launched a nationwide sensation. And a dish like this, bibimbap, is a perfect illustration of that whole philosophy. Now, bibimbap itself isn't a side dish, a banchan, but look at it. It's made of all these little lovingly prepared parts, many of which are banchan-style vegetables. Each component gets its own individual attention, and it's that consistent care that brings it all together into one perfect, harmonious bowl. So how in the world did a grandmother's private recipes end up becoming a national bestseller? It's a really charming story, and it definitely doesn't start in a fancy publishing house. Nope, it starts with just simple, handwritten notes. So this is the woman at the center of it all, Chang Sun-young. And I want to stress this again, she was not a professional chef. She was a homemaker whose love for cooking really blossomed when her sons were studying abroad. Her mission was simple. She just wanted to connect with her family through the food that she loved. The way she got famous was just wild. It was totally organic. It began with her just scribbling down notes for her daughters-in-law. Soon enough, printouts of those notes became the super popular, thoughtful gift for newly married couples. Then, a newspaper columnist wrote about her unpublished cookbook, and suddenly, everything just exploded. The public response was absolutely overwhelming. Everyone wanted a copy. And that demand was no joke. Her book sold over 100,000 copies in just 2 years. Think about that, 100,000. That was a record for a cookbook in Korea. It really showed that this wasn't just another book. People were craving this connection to tradition. So what was her secret? What made this book so different? It wasn't some complex culinary theory. As this quote says, she wrote with her heart. Reviewers all talked about her warm, motherly touch. Her recipes felt like your own mother was in the kitchen with you, guiding you step by step. But her story is so much bigger than just great recipes. It really opens a door to the whole philosophy of the Korean table. And it makes you ask a pretty fundamental question. Why so many dishes? For Chang, the answer was simple. The food wasn't just there to fill you up. It was a tool to bring people together. A table packed with dishes to share, well, that was a table that was forging a strong family bond. You can really see this difference in thinking when you compare how the tables are set. On the left, you've got a typical Western meal. Everyone gets their own plate, their own little island of food. But on the right, the Korean table is a shared space. All those banchan are right in the middle for everyone to dig into together. It's communal by design. All right, so we've been throwing this word around a lot. Let's get right to it and formally define it. What exactly is banchan? Okay, so the simple definition is that banchan are the small side dishes that come with cooked rice. But as we're learning, they're so much more than that. They're really the heart of the meal, turning a simple bowl of rice into a vibrant shared feast. And this tradition goes way back. It's thought to really taken off during the Three Kingdoms period, when Buddhist traditions meant a big focus on vegetable-based meals. Later, the Joseon dynasty made things a bit more formal, focusing on the health aspects of food. And here's the real game changer, the harsh climate. Fermentation became essential to preserve food through the winter, and that necessity gave birth to the iconic, complex flavors we know and love today. Okay, so with all that history and philosophy under our belts, let's dive into the really fun part, the incredible world of side dishes and this universe of flavors. People say there are hundreds of different kinds of banchan, and they change from region to region. Now, that might sound a little intimidating, but don't worry, most of them can be grouped into just a few main types, which we're going to look at right now. We have to start with the undisputed king of banchan, kimchi. It's got that perfect mix of spicy, savory, and tangy. Honestly, for many Koreans, a meal just feels incomplete without it. So what is it? Well, kimchi is a whole category of fermented vegetables seasoned with stuff like chili pepper and salt. It's not only Korea's national dish, it's also a powerhouse of nutrition, packed with vitamins and minerals, all thanks to that amazing fermentation process. Next up, let's talk about nomal. This category is all about celebrating the pure, fresh, natural flavor of vegetables. Nomal is basically any kind of vegetable that's been lightly cooked, steamed, blanched, maybe stir-fried, and then seasoned. The whole point isn't to hide the vegetable's flavor, but to make it shine with simple things like sesame oil, salt, garlic, and a little soy sauce. And this brings us to another delicious category, jorium. What you're looking at here is a beautiful example of braised burdock root. Jorium is a cooking method where you slowly simmer ingredients in a seasoned broth, often one with a soy sauce base. You let it cook down until that liquid reduces and creates this amazing glaze all over the ingredient. The result is this rich, savory, and sometimes slightly sweet dish that is just perfect with rice. So as you can see, from a mother's simple notes to a table that's just brimming with history, Banchan is so much more than just a meal. It's a story told in flavors. When you look at a Korean table, you're not just seeing food. You're seeing history, born out of ancient traditions and the simple need to preserve food. You're seeing a philosophy of balance. And I think most importantly, you're seeing a true expression of care, a real symbol of community, of family, and of the joy you get from sharing. So I'll leave you with this question. The next time you sit down for a Korean meal and see a table full of these small, brilliant dishes, are you just going to see side dishes? Or are you going to see a whole universe of history, philosophy, and care served up on a single table?